Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook. Sign up now for a $20 free bet. Just use the code IFLTV24. Sign up now. Terms and conditions apply.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV. Delighted. We just spoke a little bit off camera, the Hamzah, that this is the first time I've ever spoken to Hamzah Sheeraz, so it's an absolute pleasure. Big man, how's things?
Yeah, all good, man. It's a pleasure as well to speak to you. I listen to loads of your interviews. I've always thought he was a man behind the camera, but listen, I see you now.
Yeah, it's a big, ugly Scotsman that's behind the camera. That's what my face is never in front of it. Yeah, obviously you had the perforated eardrum.
Yeah.
Postponed your fight with Liam Williams back in December. So how is your health right now?
Yeah, it's all good, mate. It's all good. I can't complain. Thanks to God, I can't complain. Listen, I think it's like that 7th or 8th week of camp for me now. So it's full steam ahead, sparring and whatnot. I've got 2 weeks left here in America and then back in England for the last 3 weeks of the fight. So I can't complain. I'm all good. I'm in a good place mentally, spiritually, physically, and I'm looking forward to February.
Definitely. And you sound like you're in a good place there, Hamzah. And obviously you're out in LA. I think there's probably worse places in the world to do a training camp than LA. So obviously with Ricky Funes, how's that been out there? Obviously the sparring out there must be tremendous with the amount of fighters out in the west coast of America. So you must be getting some good work in.
Yeah, no, the work's great here. The work's great. Ever since the first sparring session I ever had here, it was with a Russian Olympian. I remember at the time when I got my ass kicked the first time. I remember about 3-4 years ago it was. But listen, from that time I've come on leaps and bounds. And you turn up to the gym, and then a random South American will walk in, and that's it. You have one of the best spars that you've ever had, and it's just the work out here is great as well. I mean, the coaches, the knowledge, and everything you just pick up here. Everyone lives, eats, and breathes boxing. I'm not saying they don't in England, but for me personally, out here, it's definitely a better place to be.
Obviously, now with Liam Williams, we know Liam Williams is a rough, tough, and he's been in with the best right now. He's been in with Liam Smith twice. Sorry, he's been in with Demetrius Andrade, Chris Eubank Jr. So for you, is this I know people have said this is an acid test for you, but is this the toughest test of your career so far against Liam Williams?
Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt, to be fair. My last 3 fights I've been stepping up, and this is like that significant step up that every fighter needs to take eventually. And who better than Liam Williams? Right? We're not looking at him. I think everyone's getting it a bit mixed up. Like we're looking at him like, oh, he's over the hill and he's a perfect opponent. It's not. That's not the case at all. We're preparing for the best version of him, the hungriest version of him. And if you put yourself in his shoes, you've got to look at a position where, if he was to win, where the win gets him. Do you know what I mean? So you got to understand how hungry he'd be coming into the fight. But then it's the same for me, to be fair. It's the same for me. It's in every fight I've had since my debut. I've had to win. I've had to win. It's not been a case of you can afford to have a little slip up and whatnot. It's just I've been meaning to go full steam ahead. I've been about my business, and that's the way I always plan to be and plan to go.
Well, obviously, I watch. Obviously, I follow boxing. I know that you're ready for the big time now. Obviously, you get past Ian Williams, you're ready for that step up fight, that marquee name, probably in that world level, to get your name in that. I know you're very highly ranked in that governing body, but staying on Liam Williams, you said that you're expecting a hungry Liam Williams, and going on what Liam's been like on social media and the interviews I've seen from him. He's up for it, and he's like I said, he's looking at you now as somewhere to get back to where he was, whether it be a Chris Eubank Jr. fight or a world title fight against Demetrius Andrade again, one of them sort of fights, because you do hold a very high ranking with the WBO, I believe. WBC, you've got the Commonwealth title that's on the line as well. You've got a WBC silver belt, I believe, that's going to be on the line. So there's a lot riding on this fight, not just for you, and for Liam, I believe. So this is going to be an absolute, for me as a fan looking from the outside in, I'm looking forward to this fight. So what can we expect from yourself in this fight?
Listen, it's one of them fights that none of us need to really start talking shit and sell the fight. It's one of them where, listen, we're both KO artists, we both hit hard, and we're both known to just get in there and get it mixing, stand in the middle of the ring and just really go hell for leather. None of us are really known for boxing. Do you know what I mean? Don't think I've really boxed in any of my fights, and there's nothing I really ever do. Do you know what I mean? It's not one of them things where I go in there and just move around for 12 rounds and try to get a unanimous decision. It's not one of them. It's one of them where you go in there and that's it. Listen, put bums on seats. It's one of them fights where you know what to expect. You know what to expect. Fireworks, and it's all about who lands first and who lands the hardest.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said it because this puts me on my next question. Obviously, you've got a high KO ratio. I think it's over 80%. I think it is, 18 wins, 14 knockouts, I believe,
Yeah.
Hamzah. And I think Liam Williams is probably up there. I think he's up at 80% as well. He's got quite a high knockout ratio. So, that being said, can we expect a knockout?
Hopefully. Listen, I've never actually. I know it sounds stupid. I know you hear it all the time, but I've never actually looked for the knockout. And when I did, I didn't get it, and that was ages ago. So it's just about preparing to the best of my ability and just putting on a show for the fans, because ultimately that's what it's about. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's about. It's about entertaining the people who come, spend their hard-earned money, and watch you fight. And yeah, hopefully reigning successful as well. That's the main thing. But I mean.
Well, Liam's only been stopped once, I think it is, and I think that was a corner stoppage, retirement. I think it was back with Liam Smith, and Demetrius Andrade didn't stop him. Eubank Jr.
No.
didn't stop him. Although they did drop him, he's had the heart and
Yeah.
will to get back up again. If you go in there and put a statement and stop Liam Williams, what does that do for your career right now in this middleweight division, which is a great division to be in with the marquee names that's in there? So what does that do for your career?
It definitely gives it a massive boost. A massive boost. It would be he stopped the guy who couldn't get stopped, but and the guy who's known for being this tough, strong 160 fighter. So it does massive things for me. It does massive things for me, my career, and the position it puts me in. Because listen, a win and a win in fashion puts me in two different places. A win just puts me in the direction that I've been going, and a win in good fashion just catapults me into like the big league. So. Yeah, it's definitely something I have high ambitions of doing.
Like I said to you, a win against Liam Williams puts you in that sort of, will put you up there now in that fringe world level, probably get a gatekeeper next. But that British title is something that you've wanted when you had that little back and forth with Bentley, but now Nathan Heaney does it. Is that British title still a goal for you? Or are you sort of like above that right now? Are you aiming for bigger honours and them world titles?
No, I'd love to win it. I'd be a fool to say no to that fight. It's an easy fight to make both with Frank Warren, and it was the same position I was with the Denzel Bentley fight. It's exactly the same. So if that fight got presented to me, God willing, I'll come over Liam Williams, and I'd be a fool to say no. I'd take that opportunity with both hands. He's the man now. He's Nathan Heaney. He's the man with the British title. And there's no South Asian from England has won a British title, so that'd be history being made.
And again, that's what you're in the sport for, is to make history. Now, obviously, you want the big fights and the big names. And I read an article, and this is probably a question I should really ask on the 11th of February. Not right now, but I'm going to ask again because I know you're a fighter and you're fully focused on Liam Williams. But I heard you mention Chris Eubank Jr. and you would love that fight. You're both in that WBO rankings. He's got the #1 spot just underneath Janabek. And I think, what are you, 4 or 5? I think
4. 4. I think 4.
Number 4. So obviously a Chris Eubank Jr. fight against you. You take his ranking, the world title against Janabek. That's obviously a dream scenario. But again, are you in that sort of marketability? You need to obviously market yourself a little bit more. The name needs to get bigger. But is it a high risk, low reward sort of situation with you right now for the Chris Eubank Jr. fight?
Yeah, it definitely is. I was saying this earlier. It definitely is. It makes, realistically, I'm not under no illusion. I know how the game works. I know how boxing goes. It's all about making money at the end of the day. So I understand where they come from. Like you said, I need to market myself a lot more, get my name in public demand. Once a fight like that's in public demand, it gets made like that because it makes sense and it makes money. So listen, I'm fighting one of his former opponents on February the 10th. So what if I get a good win, in, like I said, in good fashion? It's one step in that right direction in order to get that big fight. So I just got to be doing all the right things, and so far so good. And just got, like I said, keep getting the knockouts, and that's what gets you out there publicly a lot faster.
Obviously, when you look at this 160-pound division right now, maybe the market, the world title, the world champions aren't quite as big as what they used to be in that middleweight division in terms of names. I mean, we've got Janabek. I don't know if Charlo, with his being over 6 pounds over the weight limit against Benavidez, I don't know if he's going to stick around. But are you looking at this middleweight division right now, and do you think it's up for grabs, these world titles?
Definitely. It's one of them divisions that's in limbo right now. No one really knows what's happening, and there's all names being mentioned. This fight is going to take over the division. This fight is going to take over the division. But like I said, it's all about actually making it happen and making it a reality. So You got to remember I'm only 24 as well, so I've got plenty of time on my side, and I think I'm in a great position to eventually take over and be the name in the division.
That's actually quite scary, thinking that you're only 23, but you're 18-0 with 14 knockouts, still only 23 years old, and you're relatively still a baby in this sport, if you don't mind me saying so. You're still still learning your craft. You maybe still probably not even reached your potential in terms of your punching power. I don't know if you've got your man strength yet. It's actually scary to think that there's probably still more to come from you, Hamzah, and we're going to see that on 10th of February against Liam Williams.
Yeah, definitely. Ricky says it all the time. He goes, listen, because he's still got loads of maturing to do. Obviously, he's been there, seen it, done it with all the fighters. Even Joe Guzman at the gym, he says the same thing. He goes, listen, because you're still a baby. So listen, who knows? As long as I keep doing the right thing, by the time I'm 20, 27, 28 in my prime, they're the years that I can actually really capitalize.
Well, we've seen right now the boxing, especially 2023, as a boxing fan, Hamzah, you've seen the big fights get made. We've seen like the Spence and Crawfords, the Tanks and Tanks and Ryan Garcia. We've seen sort of like the Fury and Usyk happening in February. We talks about Joshua and Wilder, but obviously that fight's probably fell through now. But we're getting the fights now, the big fights. So right now, boxing is thriving right now. And with a young fighter like yourself coming through, you can really jump into that now and propel yourself and your name upwards.
Exactly. Like I said, it's probably the best sport to be in right now, because listen, it's publicly is in high demand. The Saudis are making the fights happen. Frank, Eddie, they're all working together. So there's no ifs and buts now. It's all about if you want a fight against someone, let's say a matchroom fight, whoever it may be, it can get made like that, and in Saudi as well. As long as, like I said, it's a fight that makes sense and is like on the world honors. It all makes sense. So there's plenty, like I said, there's plenty of avenues. But first stop, February the 10th.
That's it. Well, listen, I've got a lot of questions and a lot of probably questions that I would want to ask on the 11th of February if you come through against Liam Williams. But I'll stick on Liam Williams and end the interview with this final question. It's going to be an exciting fight. I've seen Liam Williams fight and I've seen you fight, and as a boxing fan, I cannot wait for this fight. But for the fans that are going to be in the arena, for the fans that are going to be watching on TNT Sports, what's going to happen, Hamzah?
Listen, you're just going to expect fireworks. I know you ask every fight, that's what they say, but I think this is one of them ones where it's, if you look at the stats and facts, it won't produce nothing less. It's one of them, just a lot of punches and a lot of power as well. So listen, all tune in.
Definitely, I'm looking forward to it. Hamzah, listen, enjoy the rest of your training camp and out in LA. I'm sure you will. And I'm looking forward to this fight, and I'll be tuning in. So listen, good luck with training camp, and I'll speak to you soon, brother.
Cheers, Andrew. Thanks for your time, mate.
Cheers, Hamzah. Thank you, mate.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook. Sign up now for a $20 free bet. Just use the code IFLTV24. Sign up now. Terms and conditions apply.